Wake up. Wake up before the sun. Get your works done early in the morning. Once you've made a habit out of it, you will be more productive in life. That's the way you use your time correctly. If it were that simple, everybody will be done with their work and I wouldn't have this work, right?
Good day, everyone. I have a question for you guys. How early do you guys wake up? And how successful are you? Huh? There can be no answer, and you can't quantify both. Going back to the basics, what actually do you consider as success? As for me, when I sleep the previous night, I sleep with the hope of waking up at 5 a.m. the next day. The moment I wake up, the moment I wake up at 5 a.m. without snoozing, I'm successful. That's it. It's that simple.
I wake up, I sit on my bed, start using Instagram, and suddenly it is 6:30. The success is now gone. My discipline towards my success is 0. Productivity 0. Bad mood infinite.
This isn't my mindset. This isn't my requirement even. What will I do waking up at 5 a.m. every day? Absolutely nothing. 0. And it's not like that every day. Some days there are works where I have to wake up at 5 a.m. but keeping those days in view, should I have to waste every day waking up at 5 a.m.? Is that necessary? There might be something like this to you too. You do something that isn't that important right now, but because you have to do that sometime, someday, you're doing it now. Mostly they come in handy, like preparing for a marathon or preparing for a life-changing event. But not always, right? So what are you going to do? Feel for the time you wasted and think you're productive only for that little amount of time?
There are certain standards in everything. Standards are present to have uniformity among the community. That doesn't mean that you always have to follow those standards. You have to maintain them to a certain level if you're not coping up, but you can always go above and beyond. Productivity viewed in a standard way tells us to complete certain tasks in a certain amount of time. The relationship is between time and amount of work. This is the standard, but is it limited only to those parameters? Your perception on what is productive according to you matters. There are some brilliant people who always have an eye for long-term investments and plan from day 0. Their perception towards productivity will depend on the way their planning goes and how they finally manage to achieve their target.
But there are most others who have plans, and those who construct plans as they go along, they sometimes think they are not on course with the target they've set themselves. But the planning alteration takes place and they hit their target. And what about those that do not hit the target? Does that mean they do not have the right approach to the process?
Productivity with respect to the mind depends upon the way your thought process is being utilized throughout. If one is thinking continuously, be it positive or negative, it still counts as working towards the target. It doesn't matter if you win or not. What matters is the approach. This is the quote we are often faced with. Note it down. That's not true. Imagine this. You work day and night, very hard, thinking you need to complete some task out of respite, and you don't. In this scenario, you have taken all the measures to ensure that your approach is right. The only negative you are facing here is the fact that you didn't complete the task. If the work is not worth completing and yet you try hard and fail, it ripples the effect and all the productive measures you took are wasted.
What really matters is the thought process. Your way of doing things and tasks are totally different than mine. One needs to respect their clarity of thought and go about their work. Having the courage to do something only matters if you are prepared to face the failure. All these quotes seem like a true shot, right? But in reality, whatever happens at that moment of time, it's different. Being productive is not only a measure of the amount of time and the amount of work you are achieving during that time, but it's also a state of being proactive on what task you're doing and having a clarity on the amount of time and the pressure you can handle at that time. Your view is really important, and ultimately it comes down to the satisfaction level of waking up at 5 a.m. every day and doing nothing.
A win-win situation always helps. When you get the right approach to something, it's good. But when you approach the same with a foolproof thought process, meaning when you think about a process in terms of how you are going to view it, I succeed in something, but there is no satisfaction, or the toll it took on me is much greater than the expectation. You have to be ready for it. Your perception on how to work greater must depend on your take on that particular work.
If I am doing nothing and I am fine by it, and until I don't force myself into doing something stupid, everything runs smooth. Your perception matters. Thank you so much for waiting so long. If you watched throughout, you would have decided whether you liked it or not. If you did and only did like it, please like it. No compulsion, only appreciation. Thank you. And also, please subscribe to get such content every week. Cheers.